a really quick way of drawing perspectives that helps you think about, you know, different points of view. So where do you stand? What can you see from there? So we're going to be looking at weight and depth. So by weight, we mean line weight, or even the heaviness of an object through texture. Those are two really important things when you're wanting to convey more realistic drawings. So this exercise we're just going to all do today for our drawing exercise together. Draw a cross in the middle of your page to make 4 sections. Label the bottom right section front. Label the top right section top. Label the top left section left. And label the bottom left section perspective. But it's a really cool way, we're just going to explore it with a square today, but to, even with more complex shapes, like really in depth, imagine what each side of this, you know, object would look like and how that comes together. But really it's just a very quick, easy way to get from what are the 3 views of this basic shape look like, and how do I turn that into a perspective view. An up-close view of how we can visualize a perspective, even if we don't really know what it's going to look like, by looking at the 4 sides of an object or imagining the 4 sides of an object. So we are going to do top, front, left, our perspective view. In this, we're going to look at the different angles of your shape, and we're going to look at how some of our different pencils and pens and drawing tools can help you to shade your drawing or convey light or depth, point of view and angle. So I can do one for a circle and for a square while we're at it. Top, front, perspective. Let's go ahead and let's start with the circle. They're both fairly simple, so because they are uniform on all sides, they will be a similar view whether you're looking at the top, the front, the left. So you're just going to basically draw what each side of that would look like. We're at 1 dimensional, which means flat, as it is on a page. And then from here, you can kind of gauge some points of connection in which to draw your sphere as. Circles, sphere, you know, don't have corners and angles. In perspective, it really is so much about how do you shade them, how do you shadow them, where does the light highlight on them to kind of convey this depth of this. So in one way it's an easier shape to convey, but in another way it can be a harder shape to convey. So we do use a lot of light and shadow. So this is one of the shading techniques that you could use. You can just shade in with the edge of your pencil or marker or pen apply different weights of pressure, or you could even do multiple layers where you want it to be darker, where you want to kind of convey that there is a little bit more shade. So there's our circle in perspective view, and so let's go ahead and do the square on the cube as it'll turn out to be. So I like to always kind of start with the top. So for our square, let's go ahead and draw a square. And the nice thing about the grids is to line up in several different ways where you want to be. Of course, these exercises are more for practice, more for your information, so you don't have to be so exact. So you have your front view, your top view, your front view, your left view, and from that, on this box, you can just, the top view and the left view, you can just pull right in and connect there in that right angle, if you can see that. And you can do the same over here, you know, you kind of judge where those are going to meet. You can judge, you can use your ruler, you can do a little dotted line like that, or a different colored, a lighter pencil sometimes is something that we could do. So that gives you the start of your perspective. So then you take this front view, and I'm going to keep with the dotted line, so you can absolutely use your ruler or anything that you see, you know, that you would like to use, and use the three sides of your front view to line up with the three corners of your perspective view. And as you get that, then you can, we could even use this line right here, the original cross that we pulled off of the page, to fill that in. So in there we have your box in perspective. It's not quite a cube, you would have to cut it back to make it a cube. It is definitely a box, it's a perspective of. And then on this, for some shading techniques, let's say, let's go back with the purple. So let's see, stippling is definitely one of the techniques, just like I did the dotted lines. We could stipple that to fill it in and really utilize that as one of our shading, texturing techniques to add a little weight or depth to our drawing. You can make the stippling closer together when you want to convey that it's more dark or looser. Or even just vertical lines, straight lines, vertical lines. I'll do some cross-hatching across the top. Cross-hatching on a perspective, you always kind of want to just be mindful of the direction of your perspective. So that is how you would draw and shade a box. And that is how you would draw and shade a ball, considering whichever you are doing.